Hello and welcome to our final day of the San Diego Unified Visual Arts and Performing Arts Online Theater Workshop Series. I am, of course, Miss Bianca, your instructor and your guide. By the end of today, you should be able to say, I can pantomime by myself. I can use my body and imagination to clearly express a story on stage. I can warm up my body, voice, and imagination. So let's get started. We will start first with our imagination exercise. In our imagination exercise, make sure you have plenty of space to move around. And this time, as I describe the story, try to use the entire space to act out the details of the story. Now, start in the middle of your space, standing up. I want you to imagine you are going on a journey with me. We start our journey in the middle of a grassy field. We notice the grass is getting taller and taller in front of our very eyes. As the grass gets taller, we try to walk through the grass. But now the grass is as tall as we are. The grass is so tall and so thick, we can't see anyone around us. The only thing we can see is the sky and, of course, all of the birds flying above us. The grass keeps growing taller and taller. We try to climb our way through the tall grass. We peel back some of the grass. We don't have on any shoes, and we can feel the earth underneath us. We keep pushing back the grass to try to see if we can find some light. All of a sudden, we hear a rustle in the grass. We don't know what it is, so we try to go towards the sound. As we get closer and closer to the rustling sound, we hear a bird right above us. We look up, and all of a sudden it starts to rain. It rains just a couple of drops at a time, and then it starts to pour down rain. It's raining all over the place. We keep trying to push the grass out of the way. We finally see a tiny beam of light at the end of the grassy field. We push the grass away towards that light, and all of a sudden it stops raining. The sunlight hits our faces and it feels very warm and inviting. We run towards the field in the sun, and all of a sudden we notice we're in the middle of a desert. The desert has sand all around, and our feet start to get very, very hot on the sand. We try to tiptoe only on the balls of our feet to avoid touching the sand. Then all of a sudden, we see a carpet appear in front of us. We step on the carpet to avoid the hot sand. We are relieved. The sand was really hot on our feet. All of a sudden, the carpet starts to move. We try to get off of the carpet, but before we can get off the carpet, it swoops us in the air. Now we realize we're on a magic carpet and we're flying high above the land. We hold on to the tassels of the carpet and we look below to see everything beneath us. We see the desert and we see the tall grass, and we're also flying so high we can see the birds underneath us. We keep flying through all of the clouds. Every time we hit a cloud, we feel the mist hit our faces. We start to get very cold, and all of a sudden, the magic carpet drops to the ground. And scene. Thank you for taking that imaginative journey with me. Excellent job, actors, on that imagination exercise. Now it's time to warm up our voices. We will start our voice warm up by counting to 10. Remember, we start counting very quietly, and then we get louder as we go. On the count of 3, let's start. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10! Excellent job, actors. Now let's go backwards. We're going to start very loud and then get softer as we go. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent Excellent job, actors. Now we're going to count to 10 as if we are very, very shy. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job, actors. Now we're going to count to 10 as though we are very, very excited. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job, actors. Now for the second part of our voice warm-up, we are going to do our tongue twisters. Today, our tongue twisters will be knapsack straps and red leather, yellow leather. Let's start with the knapsack straps. On the count of 3, repeat it with me 6 times. 1, 2, 3. Knapsack straps, knapsack straps, knapsack straps, knapsack straps, knapsack straps, knapsack straps. Excellent job, actors. Our second tongue twister is red leather, yellow leather. Say it with me 6 times. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Red leather, yellow leather. 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 Excellent job, actors. Now that we have warmed up our voices, now let's warm up our bodies. We will start our body warm up by shaking our heads yes, and now shaking our heads no. Nod your head yes, and shake your head no. Nod your head yes, and shake your head no. Excellent job, actors. Now we're going to raise our shoulders up and drop our shoulders. Raise your shoulders and drop your shoulders. Good. Raise your shoulders and drop your shoulders, and raise your shoulders and drop your shoulders. Excellent job. Now I want you to frown and then smile. Frown and smile. Frown again and smile. Now we are going to shake one of our wrists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2. Switch. 1, 2. Switch. 1. Switch. 1. And done. Excellent job, actors. Now shake your arms and your legs at the same time. Shake both of them. Now shake your head and drop. Excellent job, actors. You should feel very warmed up. Now let's start our acting exercise. In this acting exercise, we are going to use our bodies and our imagination in a solo pantomime. Remember, pantomime is when we use our bodies and our facial expressions to tell a story, but we don't use any words. We need to use strong expressions and strong body movements to show where we are and what we're doing. Another form of pantomime is called tableau. A tableau is a type of pantomime where we freeze in one pose to show one moment in a story. You're frozen in your pose, you don't move, but you're still telling a part of the story. Now we are going to use everything we've learned about pantomime to create a solo pantomime with tableaus. Here are the instructions for this exercise. In this pantomime, you will create a story. You will not use any words. You will only use facial expressions and body movements. You will act out the story to show 3 things: where you are, what you're holding, and how you feel. I will give you the story and the details, and you will use your body and your imagination to act out the story. For example, here is my story. You have a toothache in the dentist office. You are holding your favorite piece of candy. You are in a lot of pain. The dentist makes you throw away the candy. And notice that I use really big movements to show each part of the story. Remember, you want your audience to understand your story by just watching your body movements. Now it's your turn. I am going to explain each step of your story. Be sure to pause the video after each description to give yourself enough time to come up with your pantomime. Here is your story. 1. You are dancing at a party. 2. You are holding a microphone. 3. You are very happy. 4. You begin to sing for your friends. Excellent job! Make sure you're facing forward so we can see your facial expressions and your body movements. Now, let's try another story. You are holding a backpack. You are very scared. You hide behind a tree. Great work! Make sure all of your body movements show what you're holding and what you're doing very clearly. Now that you have pantomimed each of those stories, pick one of those stories that we will use later. Now we will create a tableau with one of our stories. You will pick one of the stories we used before, but instead of moving around in your pantomime, when I say freeze, you're going to stop in one pose. When you stop in that one pose, this will be your tableau. When I say scene, you can drop the pose. Then I will describe another detail and yell freeze for you to stay in your pose. Then I will describe another detail and I will yell freeze. Then you need to stop in a different pose. For example, I will show you. Remember my story? I have a toothache in the dentist office. Freeze! You are holding your favorite piece of candy. Freeze! You are in a lot of pain. Freeze! Now it's your turn. Remember, when you're pantomiming, you can move around, but when I yell freeze, you have to stop in your tableau pose. Here is your story. You are dancing in a party. Freeze! And scene. You are holding a microphone. Freeze! And scene. You are very happy. Freeze! And scene. You began to sing for your friends. Freeze! And scene. Great job, actors! When I yell freeze, hold that position and stay in your tableau pose. Let's try another story. You are walking in a jungle. Freeze! And scene. You are holding a backpack. Freeze! And scene. You are very scared. behind a tree. Freeze! And scene! Great job, actors! Now it's time for a recap. Let's review what we've learned today. Tableau is a type of pantomime where we freeze in one position to tell a moment in the story. Now for homework. Option number 1. In your theater journal, you can pick one of the tableaus or poses we did in the previous exercise. You can draw yourself holding that pose. Option number 2, pick anyone in your home to be your audience for your solo pantomime performance. Pick your favorite story from this activity and pantomime that story for your audience. Then pantomime freezing in Tableau for your audience. Try to see if your audience can guess what you're doing in your solo pantomime. Be sure to act out the entire pantomime before you let your audience guess. That's it for today. Thank you so much for participating in the San Diego Unified Visual Arts and Performing Arts Online Theater Workshop Series. Don't forget to keep imagining and keep exploring. With theater, you can be anywhere, be anyone, and do anything. All you have to use is your body, your voice, and your imagination. Thank you so much for joining me in this wonderful world of theater. Keep creating, actors.